Today we have a new video about what is happening in Amsterdam. If you are looking at Western news, you are reading a lot about riots, reading about attacks that have happened in Amsterdam. But what is really happening in the Dutch capital? We are going to take a look at that today. But before we do that, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Please help out the algorithm because it needs your help. So if you subscribe to the channel, write a nice comment, share with your friends. That will help out a lot, and you'll be alerted when some more interesting news comes out. So today we're going to look at what happened in Amsterdam. A couple of days ago, there was a football match, as they say in Europe. Amsterdam is in Europe. There was a match for the Champions League between the Dutch Amsterdam team of Ajax and the team from Tel Aviv, the Maccabi team. Ajax won 5-0. Yeah, the Dutch are very good in soccer or football. That is actually not what really caused the riots, though. Yeah, I'm sure the Maccabi fans, they were not very happy with the loss, but that is not the issue. If you look at Western news, it would say that the Dutch people, and particularly immigrants in Amsterdam, were just attacking the Maccabi fans because they are Jewish. That's actually not what happened. That's not the case at all. But that's what the Western media and even the Dutch politicians, most of them, want you to believe. That means you should probably believe the opposite. Social media is much more honest than what is in Western news. We saw that some of these fans, these Z-State Maccabi fans, they were tearing down flags, Palestinian flags, and beating people, beating up taxi drivers, attacking houses. And then when it was time for the match, there was at the beginning of the match a moment of silence for the flood victims in Spain. There's been some very terrible floods there. And of course, the Maccabi fans, they just started making a ton of noise, chanting racist things, started chanting things like there's no children in Gaza, and started chanting all sorts of terrible things right during the moment of silence. I think they're not very happy because Spain has put an embargo on them because of their crimes. Yeah, we know there's a genocide going on in Lebanon and in Palestine. And the Spanish government, they have decided to embargo them. Seems like a good decision made by Spain. But the Z-State people, they weren't very happy. Also has come out that the Z-State, they sent their Mossad along with their fans into Amsterdam. Yeah, it is a wonder why the Dutch let them in. That is something that people will probably wonder. This is Europe we're talking about. They are Z's too, most of their politicians. I think a lot of people in Europe don't like what's going on in the Middle East. That's why there are a lot of Palestinian flags and people who are against the Z's there. It seems like the attacks happen because of what the fans were doing. You're a visitor in a foreign country, and yet you're going to go around and be a hooligan. Yeah, they are definitely hooligans, no matter where they go. And they did the same thing in Amsterdam, going and destroying property and attacking people just because they don't like them or don't like their political views. That's not something you do when you travel overseas. That tends to make the locals very unhappy, and the locals definitely were not very happy. And yes, Amsterdam, it does have a right to defend itself. Yes, it does. And the people there, especially those who were probably on the wrong end of attacks, they definitely reacted, and that has caused Dutch politicians to take the side of the attackers, take the side of the foreign country. I'm not really sure why. I guess the bigger question is, why is Tel Aviv playing in Europe, and why are they even playing against any teams at all? We know that the European leagues, they have banned the Russians and the Belarusians, but they didn't ban the Z-State. The Z-State's actually the ones going and committing crimes, whereas the Russians and the Belarusians, they're in a defensive war. But that is a different topic. If you like the video and subscribe to the channel, we will do more videos, talk more about different topics. So please subscribe and help us out there. The Western media, once again, is not telling us the correct story, but they're telling us the opposite. So we have to look at social media and look at people actually there on the ground. The city councilman in Amsterdam, he is saying pretty much the opposite of what the mayor and the king and the prime minister are saying. I mean, I'm sure it's his district, and he's more in touch with the people there, and he knew exactly what's going on. They're even saying that the police just watched as hooligans beat up locals and caused a lot of problems, even going up and down on the subway and just chanting racial slurs at people passing by. Of course, people are going to react. That is a natural thing. no matter where you go in the world. And we know that the Z State, no matter where they go, they just create chaos. And you could look at other countries, say, for instance, Japan. Japanese people, when they go and watch a sporting match, they tend to do the exact opposite. They always do things like picking up the trash and keeping things clean. Even when they lose, they still are very respectful and congratulate the other fans. And I think that most sports fans, they do that. There's always some hooligans, but the Z State, they are out of control and they shouldn't even be allowed to play because of the crimes they're committing. Their fans are very awful. Then they send in their spy agencies. They send in spies, the Mossad, just to go and see what's going on in the Netherlands and see how much trouble they can make. And the Dutch government just does nothing. We even had the EU commissioner saying that this is anti-Semitism. Yeah, I guess I can't agree with her because technically Arabs are Semites. So I guess she's right. I don't think that's what she meant. She doesn't seem to have much of an IQ anyway. So I think most Europeans probably agree. Yeah, that is our conclusion for today. That what we saw in the news is not correct. We have to dig deeper in the news, look at some independent outlets, and look at social media and find out what people are saying on the ground. And the fact is that the Z State, they shouldn't be even playing. And they're playing in Europe. They're technically in Asia, but I don't think the Asians will definitely welcome their hooliganism or their crimes. So they have to go to Europe. Well, most of them are from Europe anyway, and they are settlers. That's a different topic also. But please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and help us out here. We hope that you have enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. See you next time.